In the summer of 2020, in the midst of the great pandemic and social unrest in America and beyond, I found myself on the floor of my living room, curled up in a ball, whimpering. Uh, I had just received a an email from an insurance company that was here to support the birth of our first son, first child, and they had just sent a message saying that they would no longer be providing insurance coverage for us, and our child was due in just 3 or 4 short months. I found myself on the floor just whimpering, just like what are we to do here? Uh, what ended up happening then was another series of events that eventually led to a place where my wife and I ended up making some direct requests. Some requests here. She sent a message up to the highest person that she can reach within the organization, and she emailed that person directly, and I made a video. This is what I do. I made a video and I sent that video out onto LinkedIn, and I asked for support, and I named the person by name, and I asked for some compassion in helping us get our insurance reinstated. Uh, Ultimately, we were able to get the insurance reinstated, and things were able to move forward related to the delivery of our son. But there was something that was really interesting to me in that entire experience. What was interesting there was the approach that my wife and I both took. Like she's someone. My wife's uh, she's this is what I don't want to say, so I think I will say it. My wife's a beautiful white woman, and what ended up happening was that she went and she sent an email and she escalated it right up to the top, you know. Whereas with me, um, for I like that just didn't feel like it would be that would be heard in that. Instead, I felt I needed to go to the community. I don't mind that it taken some years to get to the point where I could speak honestly, speak truthfully, speak openly and transparently in a public fashion to a specific person. But as much as I was reaching out to her, I was also reaching out to everyone else because I felt the power of my community, the people around me, my not just my network, but literally my community, the people that support me would actually have momentum and be able to make this person and the people in her community be able to at least take some time to slow down and consider our ask. And it was just really interesting to me because it gave me a chance to see a little bit around how like power dynamics and where power dynamics exist within our relationship, where like who how we actually feel about our ability to get things changed by going to powerful people or to the leaders in different environments. And that that to me feels like the basis of a very interesting question here, a very interesting conversation as well. To get a chance to be able to see, like, because I do believe that, and I'll say this here, based on my upbringing as a black man in America, like there's a relationship that I have with leadership, with authority, that doesn't make me feel as though I will be able to be in a powerful position, or have any power when it comes to leadership in that way. And it's something that I'm growing in, and it's my story. It's not every person's story, but it's my story and the way that I've operated. And I think it's why I choose community. I'm choosing to run a movement rather than going through a number of other avenues. I just think this would be a great basis for a conversation for us to come together to see what are your relationships to power. There are people who would say like a Karen goes straight to, I think it's a Karen, but goes straight to management here. And at the same time, I'm like, but it's really effective, isn't it? So I'd love to have a conversation where we can really explore our relationships to power, to leadership, to authority, some of the stories and the things that make us operate the way that we have, some of the the run-ins that we've had and some of the things that have shaped the way that we look at the world. And the idea here is for us to enter this conversation from a standpoint of not trying to convince anyone of anything, but just getting a chance to see why certain people react in certain ways, and how we can have a more holistic understanding of one another. So if that conversation interests you, I'm going to invite you. We're doing this as a World Joy conversation within the World Joy movement. You can come and be a part of the World Joy movement by going to beworldjoy.com and then RSVP in for one of the upcoming conversations. You might want to join this one, and we're having a number of different conversations with strangers all over the world to really experience what it's like to have a more joyful world. And we do that through conversations that matter, conversations that are meaningful, and in a way, how we have the conversation is in and of itself a model of the world that we want to see. So we invite you to come over here and explore a little bit of the relationship dynamics that you have with power and authority in different leaderships. It blew my mind when my wife just sent that message. It had never even occurred to me that could be a pathway. And I think that I get excited about the finding out what other possibilities there are, how other people go about and address it, and to take the time to get to understand one another on a deeper level, to share our reality just a bit more, even though the way that the world operates around us may not be the same for everyone. So I invite you to go to beworldjoy.com and become a member of the World Joy movement, and then RSVP for this event and others that are coming up. We want to hear your voice. We say be heard, be seen, be World Joy. I'll see you in the conversation.
It's the World Joy movement. Yeah. What was your greatest insight from this conversation? And if you want to come and be a part of a conversation like this live, it's really simple. Just go to beworldjoy.com and come introduce yourself, and let's take the conversation to the next level, because you're there now.
All right, let's play.